I believe that at every season of our life, the Bible is rich and teaches us very incredible things about ourselves that we need to share, whether we are Christians or not. This is powerful life lessons that we can live by and we can use to transform our lives. So let's look at Genesis chapter 2 today. And here are my reflections. The Bible in Genesis chapter 2 talks about the value of rest and obedience. So remember yesterday we talked about us being creators in the image of God. Today we want to learn about two big things. This is rest and obedience. Now you see, there is a gift of rest. Did you know that even God rested? After creating the world, God took a day to rest. And here is why rest is important. One, we realize that there is the physical rest, that we need sleep and we need breaks to take and to stay healthy. Number two is we also need weekly rest. Every week we need to take time away from work to worship God, to spend time with family, and to just get off the work mode. And number three, we need the daily rest with God, where we pause during the day to pray and to feel the peace inside us. Now, do you give yourself enough time to rest, or are you always just working, always on the move? What's one way you can rest better this week? You see, God made us from dust, but He also breathed life into us. This breath of life makes us more than just our bodies. It connects us with God. The truth to remember is our bodies are temporal, but our connection to God is eternal. So what does it mean to you to have God's breath of life inside of you? You see, in the Garden of Eden, God gave Adam and Eve everything they needed. They were given the basic needs, food, shelter, and they were also given the pleasure. We see this in this chapter that even gold was put in the Garden of Eden. So God also gave Adam a job and Eve to take care of the garden. And this shows us that work is good. But in the process of work when we are powered by God, we find that we rest in God's provision. So in this moment, as a professional and in whatever space you are, how has God really provided for you? Something else that we also find in this chapter is the power of choice and obedience. God, we find out, gave Adam and Eve the power to choose. He asked them to obey Him and to listen to His commands. So what is really obedience here? It means listening to God and trusting Him and doing what He says even when it's hard. You know, sometimes it's so hard to just be obedient. But the truth to remember is that when we obey God, we align with His amazing plans for us. As a reflection, is there an area in your life where you need to trust God and obey God more? Think about it. You know, one of the things we find is that we need to have a relationship with God's plan. God has a plan for salvation. So God created Eve as a helper for Adam. This shows us that there are relationships that are important for us to grow and to continue God's work together. And as a truth, we remember that we are not meant to do life alone. We are not meant to just be alone in our own corner. We are meant to be together. We are meant to fellowship together. So who has God placed in your life to help you? Could it be a friend? Could it be a partner? And how are we working together to chisel ourselves and to grow together? As a step for today, read Genesis chapter 2. Focus on how God rested, provided and gave Adam and Eve choices. Take a rest, take a break today. Spend time, 5 to 10 minutes in silence, in prayer, thanking God for His provisions. Practice obedience. Obedience is important, guys. Think of one good thing God is asking you to do today and start doing it today. The most important thing is we often know what to do, but we tend to think and rationalize it so much. Remember, God made us with love. He gave us His breath. He provided everything that we need. So it's important that we take time to rest in Him, to be guided by Him. And when He tells you what to do, when He starts to guide you and lead you along a path that you want to be obedient to follow through. I like what somebody says, follow up and follow through to complete what good work God is putting in your heart to do. Until next time, friends, I wish you well. Bye today.